destroy vital testing apparatus.
Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of The Game Drain with me, Matt Likes Games, Twan, and Hard Days Mike. Welcome to another fantastic episode this week. January, what is it, 15th?
Yeah,
15th,
that's
right?
right. Correct.
15th,
Correct.
yeah, 2023. Second episode of the year. Happy to be here with you guys. Happy to be here with those of us that are live and those of you guys that will be watching it afterwards. But anyways, let's get into what we've been actually playing for the most part, and then actually get into some of the interesting news that's kind of been happening throughout the week. So first, I'm gonna shift it over to Hard Days Mike. Let's go on ahead and hear about how he played Doom in a new direction and a new FOV.
Try to
He slid the FOV
Playing
to
on
like
the
90
slider, yeah.
today,
Yeah.
and he's
Dude,
playing it
I
a little
can't play
differently
games
than
on
usual.
90 anymore, dude. That's just gross.
Yeah,
That's like putting your face right up to the TV, like right up to it. That's what's playing at 90. I'll do it right now. I'm playing right fucking now, bud. I'll put it at 90 right now.
I'm sure
No,
you
but,
are playing Doom right
now. I
fucking
actually
now.
am right now.
Yeah, it says
Oh
they're
my
playing
God.
Doom Eternal on
I can't
on Discord right now.
just sit still. It'll make me very annoyed. Anyways, but yeah, other than playing Doom Eternal, I've been trying to play a game called Strafe. I'm gonna talk about that game later.
Stray.
Strafe. No,
He's
Oh,
playing
Stray.
kitty
Stray.
game.
Second.
He's
Yeah,
playing the
Stray.
kitty game. That's pretty
I
dope.
want to play the kitty game though. It looks cute. But no, I'm playing a game called Strafe. I'm gonna bitch about it later. Other than that, I'm playing The Witcher 3. That game just gets better and better. I don't know how the fuck that is. I need to dedicate more time to playing it. Other than that, though, I haven't really bought anything. I really would like to get pre-order Dead Space though, because everything from that remake just looks fucking
Let's
fantastic.
go.
Everything from that remake looks fantastic, and I just want to play it.
I can't fucking wait.
Yeah, dude, it looks fucking great. Other than that, not really. I mean, I've played Doom Eternal at 5,000 FPS. Just kidding. No. Yeah, that's really it. Really, Witcher, Doom, and Strafe, which I'll bitch about later.
All right.
All right, fair enough. How about you, Twan? What's been going on with you, bro?
All right. I haven't been playing too many games. I've been
Do you know-
focusing on some YouTube stuff recently. I've been trying to get that started up, but I have been playing some Time Crisis here and there. I've been bringing
Let's
up the
go.
gun con, yeah, taking out the gun con controllers, just dusting them off. It's been too long, so I've been playing. I played all of them. I played like 1, 2, 3. I even just played 4 recently. I want to talk about 4 later on in the episode because there's something I got to talk about in that game. But yeah, that's pretty much about it, really, that I think about. I just played Cuphead earlier with my cousin. He was here. We just beat the game again. I actually beat King Dice on my first try. I just played it right now. I just did
Wait,
King Dice.
Cuphead?
Yeah, Cuphead. We were playing
Dude,
some little bit
holy
of Cuphead
shit.
today. I did King
Fuck's
Dice, did it,
sake.
and I was like, first try. I was like, oh, let's go. I did it. So that was awesome to experience. But yeah,
That's
that's
fucking
it.
crazy.
That's about it. That's about it, man. Yeah, man. I was surprised. I was like, okay, that wasn't too bad. Well, I mean, I did it before, obviously, right? But
Yeah.
like, it's just, I've played that game so many times at this point. It's like I know that game like the back of my hand at this point. So yeah.
Yeah,
It's a really
Okay.
good game, Cuphead. Fantastic game.
I need to play it some more. I played it a little bit when it came out. I'm like, this is fucking awesome, but I died
a
so many times, and I
fantastic
just fucking gave up. I was like, fuck this.
Yeah, there's some
Maybe I'll like
there's
it
some
now.
levels where I could just tell like, okay, this would be impossible for someone else to do. Like I know
Yeah,
my
dude.
cousin, like there was this guy with a robot, right? I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but this guy,
I think
he's
I know
like,
what you're talking about.
so he has like a huge robot. It's basically a plane section, right?
Oh,
he has
that motherfucker.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and he has this. He basically becomes a bullet hell at one point, and my cousin's
Ugh.
like, "I would never be able to do this in my life." He's like, he kind of just stood back and just watched me do the whole thing because he just couldn't do it.
I don't blame him, dude.
Yeah, so
That like gives me sensory overload.
yeah, it's a lot. And there's like shit in the foreground that blocks your vision sometimes, so that
Yep.
kind of screws you up as well. But yeah,
Yeah.
fantastic game though. I can't get enough of it. Every time I play it, I just get hooked. But yeah,
Nice. Very
that's about
good.
it. All right, Matt, what are you up to?
Honestly, just pray. Literally
Oh, I've
just
been
pray.
playing Prey as well. What the fuck?
I beat it on PC.
It's not memorable
and now-
though, Mike. I feel you. It's okay.
I beat it on PC, and now I'm playing it again on Xbox. And I'm gonna beat it on Xbox.
No shit.
And if PlayStation had it like, at 60 FPS, which they don't, then I would get it there. But it looks like it'll just be PC and Xbox for me for now.
That's-
But really, just pray.
Well, Prey got the 60 FPS boost treatment.
Yeah.
I'm assuming. Yeah.
And on
That's
Series X, it's 1440.
Yep.
Oh, interesting. I didn't even know
Looks
they.
fucking great.
It's
And I
8K
love
on
that game.
PlayStation.
Yeah.
Is it?
It says
Isn't
it
there,
on the
like,
box.
pros?
It says it
Isn't
on the
it, like-
box.
Yeah.
Doesn't it like
Yeah.
run at like 1080 or something though on the Pro?
Exactly. It never got a PS5 enhancement or Xbox Series enhancement. It's a PS4 Pro enhancement, and the PS4 Pro ran it at 1080p
Yeah.
30. So
1080p.
Was it a
Yeah.
720p game on PS4? Like the base PS4?
No, it was 1080. It was 900p on Xbox One and
900p.
PS4, 1080p on PS4 Pro, 1440 on Xbox One X.
Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah,
Well,
So
there you go.
basically,
fantastic
You
game.
play it on the Series X. It combines the Xbox One X 1440p and the 60 FPS for the Series X, and just all in one kind of thing. Is that how it
Yeah.
works?
So what
Yep.
it does,
Yeah.
it FPS boosted the Xbox One X version of the game,
Okay.
Yep,
Awesome.
and looks
It's-
fantastic.
it looks
Auto
amazing.
HDR looks great too, from what I've seen.
And all the stories in that game are nuts. Like,
Mhm.
there's a lot of things you'll find in the environment that are like even more interesting than the actual story,
Mhm.
and that's just Arcane's just fucking goated as far as I'm concerned. They're like the greatest studio right now by
Redfall's gonna flop.
a good margin.
Red
Shut
flop.
up, Loke.
Red flop. Why did you say that?
Red
Right,
Flaw.
yeah, well, Loke says all kinds of stuff, but yeah,
He calls it
But-
mid-fall. What a joke.
Mid-fall.
He does.
Mid-fall.
it does.
What a
He's
freaking joke.
really like holding on to this reality that it's just gonna it's gonna come out and no one's
Gonna
ever gonna
flop,
play it.
yeah.
That's weird. I thought people were excited for it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird down in Texas. It's really weird down in Texas. But that's what I've been
Utah
playing.
time
What
zone.
about you, Ham?
I've been playing Sky Mid,
Let's go.
Skyrim. I've been playing some of that. Been enjoying that.
Yes.
Been playing some more. What is it called? Fight for New York and
Awesome.
Shenmue on my
Which one?
Dreamcast.
Oh, the first one. Okay.
Yeah, playing the very first one. And I'm excited to play number 2 on my Xbox.
Oh,
Let's
so you're gonna do the
go.
original versions of the game? You're not gonna do the remastered ones?
Yeah, I'm just
No.
gonna do the
I
original versions.
I respect that.
I'm
Now
gonna do
that
the
you know
original
Sweet
one on
Home.
there, and then Shenmue 3 is on the PlayStation Plus
PS4.
Premium.
I don't know if it's on PlayStation.
It
Plus.
is.
I know
it is. I have it
Oh, is
downloaded.
it? Okay. Well,
Yeah,
okay,
and
I have
and,
a
and
physical
I'll be
copy.
buying that at some
Yeah.
point. But as of right now, that's my access to play it. So that's
Yeah.
how I'm gonna do
Yeah.
that. And I'm really excited to go through all the games because the stories are pretty incredible. I heard Shenmue 3 is a bat miss.
I liked it. I like Shenmue 3.
So I'm happy to hear mixed reviews because I'm not sure what to think, and usually I
It's
just
the thing.
I
about
listen to it,
Shenmue
but I
3,
still play it.
Yo, the thing about Shenmue 3, it's like if it's still a Dreamcast game. It's like a Dreamcast game, but in HD. It's like, so if
Yeah,
that
that's
makes
what
it,
most people's problems are,
Yeah.
from what I've heard, or their biggest problems. at
because
least.
if you compare something to Yakuza, like a no more recent game, it
Mhm.
just looks like it's already aged like a lot, right? It's just, if you're familiar with the Dreamcast games, it's like it's very faithful to those games, right? So obviously people compare it nowadays to modern games, and it just looks like it's it just looks old. That's the problem with it, but it still looks great. It's just the way the game is, the way it plays. It feels like a Dreamcast game still, but that's a good thing in my opinion. I like the way.
I mean,
think
that
it's a
doesn't.
great
That's
thing.
not bad to me because
Right.
I loved the Dreamcast one. I just never played
Yeah.
2 and 3 before, but I figured, hey, if I'm gonna play 2 and 3, I might as well get a refresher because the last time I played it is when I owned a Dreamcast, like when
Yeah,
Dreamcast was actually
yeah, new
had
and getting
games.
around. Yeah,
When the Dreamcast wasn't considered quite dead yet.
yeah, I hear you.
You
Rip
know,
the
so
Dreamcast.
yeah,
Great
man, I
console.
love that thing. But the game that I've finally made my way back to, and Too Big asked a question. What up for 4GQ TV clowns? What's cracking? I see him in the chat, but thank you for coming out here.
Hello, folks.
But Too Big asked me, what console are you playing Skyrim on, Ham?
You're the one that matters.
Oh man, I mean,
I mean, what console? I mean, really, what console would you be playing it on?
No,
Like,
Switch.
Oh!
I mean, obviously, it's better than playing it on PlayStation. Better than playing it on PlayStation, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, so I'm playing it on my Series X, no mods right now. I'm going through the game just regular. I have no idea
Let's go.
where I'm at in the game. I just keep doing, just keep picking up missions and doing stuff. I don't know where the story is. I thought I was on the story beaten path, and it ended up being a DLC. And it's like, congratulations, you beat the DLC. And I was like, oh,
Yep.
I'm like level 14. Like I just beat the DLC at level 14. Okay, that's cool. But it's a fantastic game. But the most dope game that I've got recently back into, in which my wife, oh yeah, I've been playing Halo too, but the one that me and my wife have been enjoying the most that we want to play tonight, which we might not have time to because I'm here doing this podcast and she has to get some sleep, is Ark Survival Evolved. I'm right back in that game. Matt, after you got done playing basketball with me, I stayed
At
up until
4:30 a.m.
I stayed up until 7:30
Oh my god!
No, he's having
in
a
the
relapse.
morning.
Oh,
And remember, I'm an hour behind you, so that was 3:30 for me. I stayed up from 3:30 to 7:30 playing Ark Survival Evolved, and I had a fucking blast, man. I was having a good time.
so sorry,
and then my wife woke up. Because she was like, "Oh, I'm getting ready to go to church," because she really likes going to church. I don't really do that whole thing, but every once in a blue moon I go with her. But like I'm not really big into all that. But she is. She enjoys it, so she went. So she is getting ready to go, but she hopped into Ark with me for a couple hours as well and helped build the base because we're starting out on a regular server, not one of the fast, super paced ones. And I forgot how good it felt to just get stuff done and know what you're doing this time around. Because when you get in like Matt or like Loke got into playing that game, when you get in and you don't know what you're doing, it's like I don't have time for this, and you just turn it off. Right? But like I'm seasoned. I've played that game for years. And going back in it from zero is like if Cozy, that's in the chat, went back to the very first Mass Effect. It's like you know exactly what you're going to do. You know the outcome. You wish a motherfucker would.
I'm a bigger Mass Effect fan than Cozy.
Oh my god, the disrespect. Anyways, let's keep it moving. Let's get into the news this week. Matt, I want to see what you got on the docket. I got something a little hot that I want to share here in a little bit, but I'm gonna let you go first because I don't know. I just want to hear what you guys say.
Well, first up, I mean, we might as well get the big news out of the way, right? And that's the developer direct for Xbox. Going to be focusing on Redfall, Minecraft Legends, Forza Motorsport, Elder Scrolls Online, and there's speculation that there's more stuff that's not announced, but we'll see about that.
Yeah, man.
And then we have confirmed that Starfield is not going to be there because it will have its own show. So that's going to be its own show in its entirety at another date and time.
Yeah.
But for this show, it's just Redfall, Minecraft Legends, Forza Motorsport, and Elder Scrolls Online. I want to toss it off to you guys. What do you guys think? How excited are you for Xbox's developer direct?
It makes me wonder: is Redfall's going to come out before Starfield at this point? I don't even know.
I would assume so.
Yeah, it looks like that's going to be the case.
I would certainly assume so. I would assume that was the case before they got delayed, and I would definitely assume it's the case that they got after they both got delayed. In fact, we know, or we can kind of imagine the release date because I think Jez himself said it. Well, no, I think I heard him say it himself on Xbox 2 like 2 weeks ago at this point. He said the release date for Redfall is May 2nd. So I guess we can assume we know that to be true, unless told otherwise. So we know that's May 2nd. We don't know Minecraft Legends. We don't know Motorsport. I'm guessing Motorsport's before Redfall, but I could be wrong. No, before Redfall, but I could be wrong. Elder Scrolls Online, I'm assuming they're gonna just continue to get new
Updates and,
content in
yeah.
perpetuity, it seems. So yeah, what are you guys thinking about all this?
Go ahead,
Bad.
Twan.
No, I'm excited. Sorry.
That's
go on.
definitely
I'm wondering what
exciting.
Twan thinks. I'm kind of interested.
Well, why are you so interested in what I think?
Our resident pony.
Because just because you are probably the most impartial
He
You think
is.
so?
of
Yeah,
the entire podcast. Because I mean, I've always been big into Xbox.
100%,
Matt's clearly a bot.
console warrior.
He's clearly a bot.
He's got, like, how many Xbox
Hard
exclusives he
Days
has?
Mike, he only plays Doom, and Doom got acquired
Yeah, that's just
by
So, yeah,
Microsoft.
he has no
So
choice.
he's just at a he's
He's
at
just following
allegiance to whoever owns id
Id
software.
Software.
id Software.
Exactly.
If PlayStation
Yeah.
bought id Software,
I have
Hard
to
Days
do that.
Mike would
The
be shitting all over Matt Likes Games. He'd tell him he's a fucking bot and
Exactly.
he needs to just dig his head in the sand.
See, the problem with
Exactly.
me is
Yeah,
the
too
problem
bad.
with me is I'm a Sega fanboy, right? And
Ugh.
obviously they don't make consoles anymore, so it's like
They don't make
fuck,
your
I don't know
games
where to
either.
go.
Sorry.
It's like it's like I don't know where to go now.
go to
and it's
Xbox,
I've just been
actually.
free ever since, so I'm like, oh, I gotta try this, I gotta try that. It's like I can't really do an alliance with anything because the people I was a fanboy with, they're no longer making consoles. So I don't
How
know.
old were
Yeah.
you though when they stopped making consoles though? How old are you?
I'm only
One's
like
37.
23.
Oh.
I'm only
What
like
did,
23.
didn't that console stop getting games like when you were like in diapers?
Maybe like that was like
It did.
2001, right? So
No,
it was like
you-
maybe
no,
like,
you're
I was like
right.
2 years
You're
old.
right.
I was like 2 years old.
What the
There
fuck?
you
I'm just kidding. Just fanboying as a baby. Just kidding. Go on.
I mean, I didn't know
I'm
any
fucking
better.
with you. Go on.
I didn't know any better. I had the consoles, I
Yeah.
didn't know I didn't know they were under until like after. I'm like, wait, that's why they stopped making consoles, right? But anyways,
Go on.
all right, but yeah, I'm interested. We'll see. Like, I
That's-
really want.
I mean, honest, I'm gonna stop you real quick, Twan, because you say all this about Sega,
Yeah.
but then I just find it ironic that your next thing is PlayStation, because it feels like
killed them off.
no. I'm not gonna.
PlayStation was swinging around. A little bit.
I'm not gonna say that PlayStation didn't help them off the cliff, but I'm not gonna say that.
Ooh.
You know what? Sega, lost everything they had because of PlayStation. No, that's not true.
Yeah.
Sega lost what they had
Sega
because of Sega for the most part.
Sega's a little incompetent.
Sega,
look at this thing
dipped-
behind me. They made this. They did
Yes,
this.
they made that. They made the atrocity that I love, right?
It's like
But at the same time, I'm just surprised because it's just like everything seemed. I mean, other than Sonic, because Sonic got whored out pretty much, right? But it seemed like a lot of Sega properties started to show up on Xbox's platform. So I would have thought that would have been the next thing that you jumped to, but instead, and might I add, Xbox came out in 2001. That's still, diaper time for you.
Yeah.
Right?
The
So-
problem with me is,
so
I grew
I'm
up with
surprised-
PS2 as well. That's the problem too, right? My cousin had an Xbox.
Well, it's not a
I never had
problem.
an
Let's
Xbox,
take that back. It's not a problem.
It's a big problem.
It's not
No,
a problem.
I'm
I'm
sorry.
It's not, don't let these PCMR and bots
Hey,
fool you into thinking that it's a
Actually,
problem. It's not.
PlayStation.
hey, I got a PS2 the day it released. I was a lucky boy, and then
It
I got an
ruined my
Xbox.
life. I'm just
And I got an
kidding.
Xbox, but
Your
you
life
know,
changed forever after that.
Halo
PlayStation.
had an impact on my life. I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
For the
Halo
worst.
was good.
Go on.
Halo
I'm
was
just kidding. I'm
definitely
kidding.
good. It was really good.
Oh my
But,
god!
yeah,
no.
I just grew up with a PS2. Like I was just a PS2 kid growing up. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just, and I had an N64. I had a Sega Genesis. That's how I got into that, right? But other than that, yeah, right. That's just PS2 was there. That
If
was
you
like
want
the
to hear
first
more
console
about Twan's background, go check out the Behind Them Sticks on TSWS Gaming.
there you go.
Great.
I don't
Plug,
want to
plug.
shit about him.
Anyways,
No one cares about me.
but
No.
oh, we'll hear by the end of the year, 10,000 people are gonna care about you, Twan. You remember that, bud?
Ooh.
You're gonna hold that one. I'm gonna make sure.
Yo, we're gonna go back to this view and be like, oh look at this guy, and there's gonna be like a billion comments.
About to
Just
laugh,
like-
Mr.
A
Beast.
billion comments.
Mr. Beast. We're about to laugh, Mr. Beast. I love that. Oh God, why? All right, sorry.
But what are your
Wild,
actual
just weird.
thoughts, Twan,
Okay,
on
alright,
this
let's get back
whole
on topic.
situation?
All right. I mean, like,
Developer
I'm still
direct.
not 100% sold on Redfall yet. I still want to see more on that, right? So, I mean, id Software is a good start. Just hearing that id Software is involved in that, so I'm really excited for that. Like that was probably the most exciting thing I've heard about that whole game. Honestly, I'm going to be honest. And yeah, so we'll see. I mean, he said other things haven't been announced yet, so I'm not looking forward to seeing if anything hasn't been announced to see if something does get announced, because there's always the possibility that a new Conquer game might be announced or something.
Oh please.
Well, I
So-
mean, that's
Not
I
happening
guess
there.
technically there is always the possibility, but I
Uh,
mean,
They'll just say like, "Oh yeah, Young Conquer" or some shit. Like
that's
I
It's
swear
gonna
to
be
God,
P-
if they
it's gonna be
conquer a
PC.
PG game again, I'm gonna cry.
That's the thing. That's why I don't want Conkers, because if there's a Conker,
Yeah.
they're gonna make it just this PG
this
watered
kitty
down
thing.
game, and it's
Yeah,
gonna
Fuck
stink.
it up.
I don't want to
Yeah.
believe that. I don't want to
I-
believe that because of because of one of the games I just recently played.
Well,
what
yeah,
was that?
well, oh,
After playing High on
What'd you do with
Life,
that?
I think that this the
Yeah.
reach for the stars. That's kind of my whole
Yeah.
thought process on it. Like, if they want to do it, they will do it. It just depends on who gets their hands on it. So if you actually
Yeah.
I
see
don't think.
who gets their hands on it, like, I mean, if you follow closely, which I mean, I don't even follow closely on it, but like with all these like movies coming out with like we either it be like Marvel movies with like Spider-Man and stuff like that,
Yeah.
or the whole like woke following with stuff like that. You really just have to see who's writing for this stuff.
Mhm.
If who's writing is known for being foul, you're gonna get something foul. That's
Yeah.
what I'm starting to learn around here. It is like it's not everything is going to suck because of today's era. I feel like more now than
I was saying
ever,
that 'cause of
people
Phil.
are starting to fight back and say, you know what? No,
Mhm.
we're going our own route.
Yeah.
And you're starting to see those that aren't fighting back for it fail.
Yeah.
I would
agree
like to
100%.
believe that 100%, but when it comes to until Microsoft proves otherwise,
Yeah.
Microsoft doesn't have a lot of
Like first party stuff.
no,
like-
not that. Well, that,
Saying
but
like
it's like
edginess.
Yeah.
they're not edgy.
Yeah, first
Like
party.
and the thing
Yeah.
is, it's weird because when they first hit, Microsoft was like the edgiest shit.
They're
Yeah.
scary edgy.
Yeah, they were like overtly edgy. And then
Mhm.
they had the whole thing with the Xbox One, and then they're trying to rebuild their image, but they're rebuilding their image on like, hey, we're all family friendly, lots of PG stuff over here, and that's cool and all.
They didn't do that with
But
High
they
on
were-
Life, though, is what I'm saying.
Well, that's
Like that is
fine,
like on blast
That-
right
well,
now.
Yeah, I mean,
that's
I was-
totally fine.
But you're
if
right.
they-
It's not theirs. It's not their
exactly
personal.
if they were to
own.
go out
Yeah.
and acquire Squanch Games or something, not like they need to, but if they did something like that after a game like High on Life, then I'd be like, okay, maybe they do see that they need to start doing stuff like this again. But until we see like an indicator like that, then I'm kind of like on the fence of whether or not they can actually do that.
But speaking of squash games,
Squash.
those I probably said it wrong.
Squanch.
Yeah, well, speaking of them, honestly, they're the future of that studio is honestly in jeopardy at this point because
Yeah,
of the recent
yeah,
news
it
that
kinda
happened
is.
this week.
Kind
So
of
like, I'm kind of curious where that studio is gonna even be
Because
headed
of
at this
what?
point.
because
you heard the news?
Justin Roiland got charged
Arrested.
for domestic abuse.
And false
Yeah, that's
imprisonment.
like
no.
yeah, that's like the main guy.
Yeah.
He voices like 90% of the characters in that game. I
Oh
wanna
yeah,
say.
and
So-
that really sucks because I fucking love Justin Roiland, and that
Yeah.
fucking sucks to hear.
it
But
just
yeah,
makes me- Yeah, it
Not
just
good.
makes me it just makes me curious about that whole studio at this point because I mean, like, let's be honest, like that was like he was a big part of that, you know.
He's a very huge part of it. He
Yeah, you know.
was kind of the heart of it.
Yeah, so I don't
Um,
know. We'll see even where that, like I said, like you said, because they're talking about acquiring them. It's like I don't even know if they're gonna. Who knows how long they're even
Well,
gonna be
see, I don't even
around?
know if they were thinking about acquiring them. I think everybody
Yeah,
wants them to acquire
yeah,
them.
but
But we'll
yeah,
see.
we'll see where that whole case goes with that. But yeah, that's a whole
Yeah.
bucket of worms, though.
Because they could be the one that can handle Conquer, but who the fuck knows
Yeah,
now?
they could
Nah.
easily handle Conquer. They could definitely handle
I would love
Conquer.
Rare too, but Rare has no interest, and I'm not
Yeah, I
going to
don't.
bother them anymore.
Yeah,
They don't want
I don't
to.
think Rare wants to do it.
They don't want
But
to do anything with Banjo. They don't want to do anything with Conquer. They just want to work on Sea of Thieves. So I'm going to let them
just
work on
make
Sea
new
of Thieves.
shit.
No, Rare's
And
ready to
and
just
Everwild.
kill anyone who keeps asking about their old games.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah.
they're fed up with that. I think.
The thing about Conquer though is like giving it to an American studio like that, it's gonna be different because like Conquer was always a British humor, you know. So it's gonna
Yeah,
be like
it kind of
bit
was. Yeah.
different. It's gonna be a different take on
Especially
Conquer.
giving it to the creators of Rick and Morty.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
gonna be
that's
completely
just-
different.
Oh
It's very
god.
different humor.
That's entirely different humor.
Yeah,
It's still
you know?
vulgar, but it's just
Yeah.
it's entirely different humor.
Yeah. Like
It's
drastically.
more in your face vulgar.
Yeah.
Very in your face. Very in your face. I would not be against it though. I would love to see that. So who knows?
No.
But
Oh
wait,
my
what's
God.
up?
I love. Oh my. I want to play Conquer Live and Reload in the original again. I want to play them both over
Yeah.
again.
I don't know if you know,
Sorry.
but the Live and Reload is actually more censored than the original N64.
Yeah,
version.
it
I
is
don't know
more
if you know
censored.
about that.
It's
I
so
always
weird.
I always found that crazy. Like especially when you said how they were edgy back then.
Yeah.
Known for being edgy, but then meanwhile, Nintendo was always the kiddie console, but somehow,
I
the
think
edgy
because
people had the
game
more
age
censored version.
restrictions on all that became more
Yeah.
like strict. Like
Maybe, who
like what
knows?
can be in games
Yeah.
and stuff. Like because that game had like sunflowers with literal boobs, like
Yeah.
actual sunflowers with like boobs and like dude, that game was fucking. It was pushing
It
it.
was wild. It was wild.
It was pushing it.
Nintendo is kind of like as kiddie as everybody calls them. They have some sleeper games that like people don't like bring up until like
take a look at that eShop.
years later. No, I'm just saying like
eShop in
people don't
general.
bring up until years later, and then you'll find out like, man, Nintendo had some pretty wild
raunchy stuff,
games
man.
or
Sometimes
raunchy games in there. Like GameCube had a few. Like people think the GameCube was super
Nintendo-
kiddie, but
yeah,
it was not.
GameCube
Nintendo
was
really
weird.
tried. Yeah, Nintendo really tried to get.
I love
that,
my GameCube, but
hardcore
Even the
type.
commercials. Did you see the commercials for
Wow.
GameCube?
That was
The
like
commer-
almost like PS3 level of weird. Early PS3.
It was.
You
It was.
The
I don't know. It might have been extra weird. I remember seeing like an Asian dude with like he looked like he was like in a pretzel in the box, and like people were like
Yeah, he was all
eating
stuck in
around the
there. Yeah, it's
table.
Yeah,
Like
I don't know
I'm
what
like,
was
what
going
is
on.
happening here? And I end up finding out
just
this is
selling you
like
a
a
console, bud.
It's like some creepy pasta shit, It's
Yeah,
like-
right. Oh my god.
like
I
what
love
do they
it.
think gamers are doing? Like what's
Apparently
happening
cheap
here?
Hanging out, having a good time.
They think we're
Yeah,
pretzels, man.
that whole era was just like let's just be weird as hell, It's like,
I miss
like
weird
said,
commercials.
early.
I want the
PS3 era,
crying
that's, like,
PS3
weird-ass.
baby
Yeah,
back.
exactly.
I want
That
that.
shit Like I'm,
I
you
don't
can't
know.
convince
Been
me.
weird.
Can't convince me kids didn't get nightmares from that shit. You just can't convince me.
I love
Yeah,
it.
I don't know when that stopped, but it was like Xbox came on the scene and then they started doing it. Then you had Nintendo, the GameCube, like Ham said, the ads that they were running were just strange.
Bizarre.
Just
Yeah.
strange.
Yeah.
Dreamcast one
and
was
then-
crazy too.
Yep. And then, because, dude, I remember, crap. I forget. You said Dreamcast, and I had like a flash of like a Dreamcast commercial that I saw, but they were doing weird stuff. And then Mike said the PS3. The PS3 marketing was just
I loved it though.
truly insane.
Bizarre.
It didn't make
It
any
was
sense.
awful. It really was.
It didn't make any sense at all. I was surprised they sold consoles
Yeah.
because I'm looking at that like, what the fuck is this?
You remember the box that like vomited on the walls and all the walls changed
Yeah.
colors? It was like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Remember
and
the
then
lady
there's
with
also
four
one where
boobs?
like the balls were moving from one side and they're
Yeah.
moving with other, and then like it like pans back and the controller's like moving,
Yeah.
and it's talking about the 6-axis, which was terrible. Which the
But
six
running
axis was
84
not
games,
good
though,
in my
That
Holy
opinion.
thing
cow,
was
dude,
light. That thing was very light.
Dude,
that
this thing
controller.
feels like I could snap it with just one
Right,
hand
Yeah.
right
dude. The
now.
PS3
Yeah.
controller is the
Terrible.
flimsiest piece of shit ever.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Look
Is
at
that-
my
is that the
hand.
six-axis?
My hand. Like
No,
I'm
but
not a
that's-
big dude, but geez Louise, my
No, but
entire
is that the
one hand.
six-axis or is that the DualShock 3? Because there actually is a difference, believe it or not.
This is this one's 6 axis.
Six axis.
Yeah, so like those ones, they have no rumble and they're light as hell. Like,
Dude,
you
I
can, like,
had
snap
I
that
had
with,
the
like,
one
3
that
fingers.
they all just feel like fucking shit.
Yeah, it's
No,
it's
like
just
the DualShock 3 has some weight to it though, right? Like this one.
No,
like,
I
it
know I
has
own
weight,
one. I'm just
you
saying they
know?
all though
Like-
feel like light to the point
Well,
where
I-
like
You understand who you're
twist it in
talking
both
to, right,
directions.
Twan?
I need to get a regular DualShock 3 then, because
Yeah.
this one just feels like it weighs
Yeah,
0.000, like it's like a feather.
yeah, like yeah. Because
Talking
they have
to
no
a
rumble
few
at all.
BOTs.
Yeah.
Talking to people with
Yep.
fucking taste. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm
Yep,
sorry.
man.
Go on. I'm sorry. Go on.
I mean, Mike's right.
All right,
What were you talking about?
so
yeah, what was the
Twan
topic
just
about
needs
the
to.
conference? Yeah.
No,
Talk about the developer
yeah,
direct.
I'm going right back to that, and so Twan is more or less saying that he just needs to see it. I guess you're
Yeah, I
not
gotta
really
see
sold
it.
on the idea of it right now.
Yeah, man. What I'll see it. You know, I don't know if you want to do like a stream. Maybe we could do that. I'm not sure. When even is this supposed to happen? I don't even know
25th,
what day.
the 25th at
That was that
God,
day.
what time is it?
There's that phone one.
3 o'clock.
It's gonna be
3
3
o'clock
o'clock your
Wednesday.
time, so 2
No,
o'clock
but-
for
oh,
yeah,
me.
EC. Yeah. Sorry, me and Hitman. are on the same
Well,
time zone.
That's good.
Oh,
I'm
I
down
actually
for it.
had that Wednesday off, so I could do it if you want to do it.
There you go. So,
Right on. I'm not working that day.
I know me and Loke are going to be doing it on that channel, and we invited Matt there. I said
Mike?
like both of your guys' names shoved
Mike.
together.
Matthew.
I said Myeth.
My
My FU.
Mike.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
he said,
I'd be down. I'd be down to
Cat.
see to go with you guys, and we'll see.
it'd be just
see
like
how
we
that is.
did the other time when we were watching
I'll be on some crazy
when we were
shit.
watching
Game Awards.
Bill Clinton Rabbi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was-
Reformed Rabbi Bill Clinton.
Reformed
Oh my
Rabbi Bill
God.
Clinton. Elden
I'd like
Ring.
to nominate this award.
Oh,
my
that
God.
that kid just works at From Software now, probably.
If not,
Oh, yeah,
Just
they
gave him a
probably
job.
writing the
got
lore.
hired. Yeah.
he's
Actually, I want to talk about Redfall too. So
he's
I
the
got-
he's the head director of Elden Ring too.
You're probably gonna actually find out that he's locked up somewhere
Oh,
in
yeah.
security,
Oh, dude.
and Jeff
Oh,
Keighley has the
Yeah,
has the
Jeff Keighley's
passcode.
basement.
He has the passcode.
He's in Jeff
And the
Keighley's
keys.
basement, just getting belittled and screamed at.
Oh my goodness, that was
Whispering in-
insane. I can't believe that
whispering in his ear,
happened.
I have a game that you haven't even seen yet, and it's
Uh-huh.
great.
That's so
Oh,
creepy.
God.
That's so creepy. Oh man. All right, so
Yeah. We'll see.
So-
I'll watch it. We'll see. I'll form an opinion after I see the thing.
I am curious.
Smart.
Like, are you excited though for Forza?
You know what? I could get behind that honestly, because that honestly looks way better than Gran Turismo 7. Like, I'm not even gonna lie.
hey, now, hey, whoa,
Well, hold on, it
whoa.
does.
No, Matt, calm
Well,
down, Matt,
I
calm
mean,
down.
Hold on now. It
We
does.
no. You hold on now. You hold on now.
What?
Let's
talking
remember.
about? I'm so
Let's keep in mind that
Yeah.
all this talk about in game, but we haven't have we seen like a whole like a race yet?
That's totally fair. See, I'm just saying, like what Twan's saying, like compared to what we saw at this point for GT,
Yeah.
GT looks
compared
like
to
shit.
Forza, what we saw up to this point, Forza looks better. Now, if they
Yeah.
come out with whatever they show at this and it looks terrible, then
Well, though, yeah, our opinion will
know,
change.
yeah, opinion will change.
Yeah.
But I mean,
As of
just
right
so
now,
far,
you know,
it's not
yeah.
even close.
Yeah. Like,
Wow.
because
So
if they
it's
promise
not even
what they
close
actually
when you
show-
don't know any gameplay.
I'm
No,
saying
any
what
gameplay?
I'm saying compared to like if you put all we saw of Forza against that much of what we saw from GT7 prior to its release, which one looks better?
I don't
Oh,
know.
yeah,
I
the
remember
pixels.
seeing the stars and everything like that for
Okay.
GT7. That was
Okay.
pretty mesmerizing, seeing the day changing so well. And
Saw
what
that
they
in
showed,
Forza.
they showed the
Like the
day change
carnival's
in
going
Forza,
on,
but it was
festivals
like
going on.
it was like over some dusty river. Like,
I
who
mean,
cares about
I
that,
know that,
right?
like, I already just know it's going to be identical to an Xbox. Just kidding.
No,
I
I'm just
mean,
kidding. I'm super stoked. I mean, I'm going to go on ahead and take my turn now. I'm super stoked
go
for
ahead.
this developer direct. I'm excited to see Forza, do some comparing, contrasting with GT7. I am with them. I was just giving them a hard time. I'm 100% expecting this game to knock GT7 out of the park, but I mean, I have to see a lot more than just
Mhm.
replays, because
Yeah,
the
in-game footage.
replays for Gran Turismo look fantastic too. I can't hate that much on those, but the one thing that I did notice that was like a stark difference between watching GT7's like video that they had around this time last year versus what I've seen on Forza so far is that the environment outside of the track looks phenomenal on Forza.
Yeah.
It does not look so phenomenal on GT7. It's like you can tell that they put all this time on the track and all this time in on the road, all this detail in the car. Looks fantastic on Gran Turismo, but once you look a little outside, you just start to kind of gaze a little bit, into the pasture in the background. You get this kind of, well, I don't know how you describe it, Twan. How would you
Like
describe it?
Like it looks kind of
Yeah. PS3.
like
It looks dead.
yeah.
It looks like we're racing, we're going hardcore, but this is like
Empty, just
in the
empty,
middle of the desert where
Yeah.
there's nobody, where not a body could be found.
Yeah.
It's just us in the cars.
Guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it. But yeah, I mean, like
Definitely.
with Forza Horizon, like not Forza Horizon, Forza Motorsport, right? They're showing how, depending on the time of day, there could even be a festival going on, right? It just makes it feel more alive, like more lived in, you know, just a more lived in area, right, where you're racing. It's like, okay, it's not just a track and cars, there's actual people involved too, So
Yep.
I'm
yeah,
pretty
just yeah.
excited to see.
And the thing that's I'm excited about too is how it's a next gen only, well, not next gen, I guess current gen only game, right? I mean, GT7,
Yeah.
they had to make that shit work on the PS4 as well. This one, they're like, okay, no, there's Series X only, and obviously, PC as well, right? So,
Yep.
I mean, that's exciting. This is probably the first racing game where that's actually fully taking advantage of these new consoles, right? So, it's exciting to see as well.
Yeah, it actually is.
Yeah.
This is the first simulation racing game I've been excited
Right.
for, and like since maybe GT4 is
All
probably the
right.
first one I've been like
That's
actually
quite a
pretty
while ago.
excited for.
Yeah.
Yeah, GT4 was I love GT4. That was
Yeah.
like the last Gran Turismo I really
It was a great
enjoyed.
game. Had a lot of content.
I loved it.
Yeah.
Love that game. But yeah, I'm genuinely excited to see what they do with this. And yeah, I want to see a lot of like I want to see in a race. I want to see someone with a controller in hand, like doing an actual race. I don't want to see a replay. I'll have plenty of time to look at replays whenever the game comes out. I just want to
Yeah.
see the race.
Right?
And
That's all I'm
if I could see
asking for.
that, if I could see that and it looks as good as what they're telling us, I mean, what they showed us so far, then I mean, I don't know. That's exciting. That's
Yeah.
just really exciting, honestly.
Yeah.
And then my thoughts on Redfall. I mean, geez, you guys already know. I'm ecstatic for Redfall. I'm really ecstatic for it. Like I cannot wait for that game. And the more because now I'm playing through arcade games again. I'm gonna play through Dishonored again after I beat Prey again. I'll play through Dishonored again, Dishonored 2. I'm probably gonna play through Deathloop. I still need to beat that on PS5. So I don't know. I'm on an arcane bender right now, and
Okay.
I can't wait to see Redfall. But Mike, do you have anything to say about the showcase?
I'm really excited to see Redfall. The first gameplay they ever showed of it, it looked fun, but I kind of just wanted to see more because it kind of looked like what I expected it to be. That's not a bad thing at all, but I just kind of still didn't know what the hell it is, but them describing it's more kind of like a Far Cry / Far Cry 2 / Stalker like game is really interesting to me. I like the idea of like they are trying to go for that vibe. They still want you to feel like the storytelling is on point, even though it's multiplayer and is all. Matt has a good video.
Thank you.
Even though he smells terrible. He has a
Much
good video
appreciated.
detailing detailing it, and I recommend checking it out. But there's a lot of things like the characters, how they communicate and talk to each other if you play with one another. How the abilities all interact. There's so much more. That sounds really interesting. So I'm hoping we see something that looks like non-scripted gameplay, because my one issue with that whole E3 build was, and I don't blame them. You kind of have to show. It's like I say, it's like a vertical slice, whatever the hell they call it. Like it has to be.
Yeah.
Like it has to be exact. But when it's obvious you're playing with another person, like, oh hey, how you doing there? I'm like, oh yeah. I'm like, fucking, I know you're another fucking person. Like all this, but I get it though, because they're trying to show how it all comes together. I get it, but I don't give a shit. I just want to see the raw gameplay now of how like me, Matt, and everyone else are gonna play it. Even though I'm probably gonna play it mostly single. Well, me and Matt are on the same page. We're mostly interested in playing single player, but we also want to check it out multiplayer.
Absolutely.
So I'm very much interested in that. Hopefully we can get a good gameplay chunk there at a release date. May 2nd is close, but also far at the same time. But it is
Yeah.
what it is. There's no way Starfield is coming out before June. Unless there's like something crazy that happens. But I don't know. I'm mentioning Starfield. Other than that, I really don't know what to expect from this direct. It's kind of like I'm excited, but also kind of like really not excited, just because of the fact that like and I appreciate Microsoft for doing this though. Our expectations are tempered like immediately. That's the word I'm looking for. Like they're like, expect this. You know what I mean? And
It's not really a
Yeah.
surprise, you know. It's like we already know what to really expect. You
Yeah,
know?
exactly. And I do appreciate them for doing that though. So I'm not like, oh, we're going to see Doom Eternal 2, even though that's not what they're doing. But you know, um,
That's the final thing.
yeah,
That's
that's the
one
fun.
last thing.
Dude, if the one last thing is
Doom
something from id,
Unlimited.
I might
Yeah.
cry. No, I'm just kidding. But I'll probably be freaking out. But yeah, but it's kind of weird. Like I'm excited because there's things there I want to see, but like at the same time though, I feel like I already know exactly what I'm gonna see. So I'm kind of like, you know, all right, we're just gonna go watch the things they talked about. They told us what's gonna be there already. So I don't know. It's kind of weird. Like I'm excited, but I'm not like, let's say like
That's
E3
fair.
excited. Like, but obviously it's not an E3 either, so I'm
Yeah.
not gonna judge it as an
Temper your
E3.
expectations, right?
Yeah. So that's how I feel.
Well, there's
Yeah,
something
stuff.
I want to just kind of slide in, almost like
Okay.
Mike's disrespect to Matt. Jeez Louise, he just slid that in nice,
Yeah, he
smooth,
just-
and undetected
I just-
almost. God
I-
damn, that was
I
cold blooded.
promoted his channel. I promoted his
you
channel, bud.
you promoted
did.
him and then you
That's
slapped
true.
him in the face.
That's
as
true.
much as he smells.
That's
Oh
true
my
though.
God.
So I appreciate the promotion.
Yeah, go watch his video. It's great. He doesn't smell as bad as Ham, though. I'll let you know that.
Oh
I
my
got it.
God, here we go.
Oh.
Oh man, I gotta
Go
keep
on.
it moving. But anyways, so on with this event. One thing I'm wondering will be talked about or solidified or maybe even answered upon is the rumor about the Gears of War Remaster Collection still
shit.
being
Read about
in
that.
talks. So as of like January 13th, a report from I have a problem pronouncing this website.
Special Nick?
Is it like Dexerto or something like that?
Yeah.
They said according to an industry insider, Microsoft is still working on a rumored Gears of War remastered collection. Would any of you guys be surprised if this were to be something that popped up at the awards or something like that? Because
Perfect.
not that long ago, Nick, aka Special Nick, said, "I'm currently not allowed to give much more detail than it's happening at the moment." I'm working on loosening the grip, but even as someone who isn't a big Gears fan anymore, what this is should be really awesome. Add even better adjectives for Gears fans.
I don't think it'll be there. Just because I don't know, just got instinct, I guess. I don't
Personally, I
think
think
it'll
that
be there.
whole thing's unnecessary, personally, but
I think
I
it's
mean,
unnecessary unless you're like
a
unless
PC only guy.
unless you're on PC or unless it's a full like it's remakes. In which
Yeah.
case this would have taken years upon years upon years of like if you remade Gears I mean I guess Gears 1's technically already remade, but if you
Mhm.
remade Gears 2 and 3, then that's like years and years of an endeavor to like remake those two games.
I
So
mean, those could be
if
standalone releases too by
yeah,
themselves.
exactly. Those could entirely be standalone releases on their own. They're that well regarded. But like,
Mhm.
if they were to do that, then I'm a lot more interested. But if this is just remastering, like it's 4K 60, it's already 4K 60.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had
mean,
this same argument last year. I was just like, dude, they just FPS boosted all
yeah,
like all these gears, and the ones that weren't. I mean, I mean, and like there's even like a patch for the Series S because
FPS
doesn't one of the games already run 4K 60 from the One X enhancement?
yeah. It's Gears 5 runs 4K 60.
Oh.
Okay, I'm
already did run 4K 60.
no, I'm thinking of Gears 4.
Oh,
Gears 4. Gears 4 because Gears 4 already had a 1X enhancement. Was that able to run 60 on the 1S as well?
no, Gears
With that, or did
4
it need
was
a
30
FPS boost?
Gears 4 was 30 on the series, not the series, but the 1S, and then it got the FPS boost to 60. But I believe it was 1080p 60 on the series, or not the series. God damn, the Xbox is naming the One
It's
X.
terrible.
Yeah. But yeah, I believe. Yeah, you're right. You're basically right. It was Gears 4 got the FPS boost on Series S to 60 FPS to match the Series X and the One X.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Long-winded. Jeez
Yeah.
Louise. And all these different
Xbox,
terrible
man.
Xbox names.
It's
Fucking
pretty
Xbox.
bad. It's embarrassing.
The last great name from Xbox was the 360. They should have went from there and just doubled each time or something like that.
Just keep on adding 360 to it, you know.
360
And the way they
7.
do it.
I mean, everyone thought it was going to be the 720.
Oh, everyone thought it was.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
How-
even internally it was called the 720 at one point. They just wanted to change it just because they didn't want the fans to be right or something. I don't know.
I remember like whenever
The
you
game's
look
going to
up-
run more than 720 though. It's not right.
Yeah. I remember whenever you would look up like pictures, you type in next Xbox when the 360 was out, you go
720p.
like Google and type in next Xbox, and then it would just be like a picture of like a fucking like some weird
Spaceship.
shape.
Yeah.
Just some weird shape. And it's like this is the Xbox 720.
And
It's
that,
like,
that invisible circle looking thing. You know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about? Yeah.
My favorite is that when you had searched PS4 controller back in like 2008, and it'd be this controller with like 7,000 buttons on it or
Right,
something.
yeah.
yeah,
You
dude.
know?
This
It's
is
like, that was
next
just-
gen.
yeah.
Oh, come on, game still.
Yeah.
But
Oh my god.
but yeah, so you guys don't really care to see any new Gears stuff.
Honestly, it wouldn't really affect us if you really think about it, you know.
Yeah, it doesn't affect me personally. I'll just thought of this. It would be very useful to have this. In fact, this kind of changes my stance on it.
All right.
I am actually excited for this, kind of, if it were to be there, because that would revive the multiplayer for Gears.
That's true.
Because the Gears of War multiplayer, whether it's Ultimate Edition, whether it's 2, I don't even know if 2's still online. 3, 4, even 5, even Gears 5 multiplayer is just kind of dead. It's done. But if you kind of brought it back all in one package and you could play them all at the same time, like MCC.
Oh, MCC like for Gears, that'd be pretty sick.
Yeah, then that would be a huge revival for.
That's kind of the whole point of all of this, Twan,
That'd be
was
great.
like
Yeah.
as a collection, kind of like the MCC collection. So
Yeah,
you'd
that'd
have
be
all
pretty
of
cool,
them
actually.
on one title,
disc, yeah.
not like a bunch of standalone things,
Yeah.
like you may get with like this Dead Space thing that comes out. Because I mean, obviously they're remaking Dead Space 1, so I'm imagining they're gonna remake 2 and then
Oh,
remake
if they
3.
remake 2.
You
Holy
know what I'm
shit.
saying? I mean, that's what I'm
Don't
imagining
ever
with
touch
this.
3.
Oh.
Don't ever
But-
touch 3. 3's a dud.
I mean, what happens if they retouch it and then it ends up being the GOAT?
Well,
You know what
if-
I'm saying?
if
Like
they-
it,
if
it's
by
it's
re-
possible.
It had to be a brand new
Yeah.
game.
If by retouch you mean make it an entirely new thing from the ground up, then go ahead. Go right ahead. Make it great. But if you're just going to make it look prettier, don't bother.
Yeah.
That game is terrible.
Yeah,
Oh
that
my
game
goodness.
Is, no, it's
It really is.
It's like a different genre now, unfortunately.
And I was excited to get to that because everyone was like, "I hate Gears of War." I'm not Gears of War, but Dead Space 3 because it's like an action game. I was
yeah.
like,
Well, I like action.
"Oh, well, I don't really like horror games, so that'll probably be the one I like most." I got to it and I was like, "This is fucking terrible."
Well,
Like, I
anyways,
don't like this.
speaking of dislikes of horror games, shall we move into Callisto?
Oh my god, we can totally move into Callisto because Callisto reportedly flopped.
So who's
Quote unquote.
surprised here?
Quote unquote. I put that in quotes. Those are not my words. That's tons of articles. But it says Callisto fails to hit half of its 5 million copy sales target, selling only 2 million copies. And I mean, I've beat it, Ham's beat it, and I can tell you right now, for me personally, that does not surprise me. So I'm going to open this up for you guys to talk about. Do you guys got anything to say about Callisto Protocol flopping?
You know what? I'm
Not
gonna
surprised at
direct
all.
this straight into Mike and Twan because neither one of you guys have played it, right?
Nope.
No.
Haven't played it.
So neither one of you guys have played it. So I want to hear from the two people before me and Matt tackle as to why we think it flopped. Why do you think, from the outside looking in, why this game flopped? Just like your
Well,
opinions.
Can I go first, Juan? Do you care?
No, you go first. Yeah,
I mean, it's like completely brand new IP. Like I was saying a little while ago, completely brand new IP from a studio. Majority people don't. I mean, it's a completely new studio technically. Yeah, it might have like
Yep.
figureheads. A $70 game, and like, I think a lot of new IPs are kind of really in a tough. So I know there's plenty of new IPs that are coming out that are doing really good and such. Like it happens, but like it's harder now more than ever. But that $70 price tag and horror, I don't care what anyone says, horror is a niche genre. There are some people like it's mainstream. Like it is to a point, but in gaming, like it's not
niche.
it's not as widely loved and played as like how people watch
Movies.
horror movies. Yeah, exactly.
No.
It had a very uphill brand new studio, $70 title, brand new IP. And
Spitting
then, like,
facts, Matt. I mean, Mike. Oh my god, I always get you guys mixed up.
Thank you.
You're
Very
spitting
good.
facts though,
Very
Mike,
strong.
because it's like Resident Evil, as big as that is, it's still niche as hell.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's and like I feel like and this is, I'm not gonna try to take this away from Matt because Matt did say this, or was it you, Ham? You both agreed on it, so I can't remember who the fuck said it, but like the
could
reviews
say
just
it.
completely fucking
Derailed.
Mhm.
Yeah.
flatlined any
Yeah.
like
Potential.
hype that game had left.
Yeah, Matt said that.
It was because that was definitely kind of a game that was surviving mostly, I feel like, from that like pre-internet, that like internet hype. And then once
Oh,
those
yeah.
reviews came out, it was like the
Killed
niche
it.
got like
Yeah.
kicked in the kneecaps, and it was
Yeah.
like not even niche anymore. It was like obscure. like
Yeah.
so it just had so many uphill battles. That price tag, the fact it's a new IP, a new studio, a niche genre, and then the game just being okay at best. And then even on like different platforms had crazy performance issues. On PC it was completely broken because Unreal Engine has a
Oh,
bunch
that's
of
right.
issues. They finally fixed it, but that
Yeah.
shouldn't have been an issue. And
Mhm.
on Xbox the ray tracing was completely broken. And for like the first week or something, I don't know, it was like something broken with the ray tracing, and like the save system was fucked. The healing system was it was just so many things for in that to be priced $70 and treated like it's just I think it also proves more than anything that a game just can't be $70 for the sake of things being more expensive nowadays. It does
Yeah,
need to prove it.
Mhm.
that's
And
that's proof right there. If there ever
it
was proof.
it needs to like literally PlayStation and sports games got away with it because they had like the PlayStation quality is tied to their exclusives. I don't care what anyone says. They're at least
Yeah.
tied to it. You're gonna get a game that works and it's gonna work well and it's gonna play well. With sports, you're gonna fucking buy that game anyway so they can get away with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
But
fans out there.
but like with something like this, I don't think you can.
Yeah, the margin for error is really tight.
Exactly.
Mhm.
So that's my take. That's my take.
That's a
Well,
very well rounded take.
I guess I'll go then. So
Yes,
the
sir.
thing about me is I wasn't like that excited for this game initially. I was like, oh, if it's good, I'll probably get it. The thing about me is I knew the game would drop drastically in price in just a short few months, so I had no reason to get this at full price. And the thing about me, I'm at a point where I got no shortage of games to play. Right, I'm not gonna pick
Huh.
up a game at $70, not $90 in my currency, and then only
That's horrible.
so I'm not going to spend
Ugh.
that much money only to not play the game and it only to drop in value to like $30, and it's like, okay, I just wasted money, right? I wasted like 30, 40
Yeah.
bucks if you think about it. So that was, and I saw the reviews, performance issues, and I'm like, why am I going to spend $70 on this game if it's clearly not even completely finished yet? I might as well wait, get it at a discount, and then it'll be more fixed when I do play it. So I'm getting a better experience and spending less while I'm doing it. See where
Yep.
I'm coming from? So
Yeah.
it just made
100%.
no sense. It made no sense to get at launch. So
Now that game also, Tuan, is
yeah,
objectively better to play than it was at
exactly.
launch.
I was just
And I'm gonna be spending less and having a
Yeah,
better
yeah.
first experience. If it's
Yeah.
crazy when you
objectively
think
better to
about it.
play.
It's
I
crazy
was
when you think about it. Like
I was just gonna say that because there's things that they've changed that I didn't know about them changing to the point where it's like maybe at some point I'll go back and play it whenever they get that
yeah,
new game plus. But until then,
It can
I'm not
wait.
touching it. But
yeah.
like they've changed how health works in that game. So
Mhm.
before when it launched, when you wanted to use health, your guy would kneel down and he'd stick a fucking needle in his neck and it would just be there for like 10 felt like 10 seconds and you're about to get killed. And you're
Yeah.
just stuck in an animation for like 10 seconds, hoping you get done before this thing one shots you. Now it's
Yep.
like you kneel down, needle in your neck for like a second, you're good.
Yep.
Man.
So that's one major thing. One of my biggest gripes with that game was I just basically went through the game not healing because of
Yeah.
not knowing when something was going to pop out and when I was going to die. I just kind of was winging it through the whole game, not healing nearly at all, just because I'm afraid to. So they
Yeah.
fixed that, which is huge. I think Ham, did you say something about them also fixing the checkpoints?
Oh.
I don't remember saying anything about the checkpoints, but I do remember saying something about the guns and how they are
Oh.
quicker to be swapped between,
Oh, thank God.
Oh, that is another huge thing.
because that was really bad.
If you played this game, I mean, I don't know, Ham, you want to talk about it? Because the weapon swapping in that game, and then another thing I just didn't take advantage of because it felt like it was a hindrance.
Yeah, it did feel like it was a hindrance for the fact that half the time you were getting ready to swap, and if you got hit or needed to dodge, it went back to what you were initially using before. So if you were out of that ammo and you were trying to swap, but you had to dodge, you have to re-pick that gun that you were trying to swap to and restart the process of switching guns all over
Yep.
again. And sometimes it felt like you couldn't get very much space because your character's super heavy and running isn't very great in the game. And the last thing you want is the enemy to be behind you and you can't see, because there is no quick way to turn around to fight the enemy. So it was
Yep.
just plagued with frustration when it came with swapping to other guns. Even though I like the guns and the grip were like two of the coolest things in the game, and also the baton. I mean, so those are the three coolest things in the game.
Yeah.
The grip, the baton, and shooting some of the guns were pretty cool as well. But it here's this game for me, and here's why I think it kind of flopped. You got so as you guys said about the $70 price tag, yeah, that's steep, sure. Yeah. We already know, but that's kind of the direction of games. The bad thing for this game is it's in the beginning of the infancy that is $70 games.
Oh
You
yeah.
see what I'm saying? So a lot of people aren't really used to spending $70 quite yet for a brand new game. So to
It
get
still feels premium.
this
Yeah.
as one of the, hey, we're $70 now, and to be what it kind of is when it like gameplay wise, it just screams not enough or bad timing, right?
During this session.
Oh, yeah.
Like dodging in that game, it seems kind of nerve-wracking at first, but once you get it down, it gets old quickly. And
Yes,
the
it does.
game is not very long as well without a new game plus. So the replayability isn't really there. The scream for your money for value isn't really there unless you include the fidelity that is that game. The fidelity that is that game is, in my opinion, fairly magnificent. I put it up there
Looks
like
amazing.
with Horizon Forbidden West and whatnot, because you can hate on Horizon Forbidden West all you want. And Matt, you can say lens flares this, lens flare that. I get it. But at the end of the day, there's not very many games where I jump in the water and I'm like, man, this is fucking amazing.
Mhm.
Like the
Yeah.
swimming in that game, it might not be exactly like what the demo showed, but it's still one of the best, if not like top 3 greatest looking games that I've ever played, even though I did not enjoy playing the game
it.
thoroughly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I held that game to that regard, Callisto Protocol to that regard, looks wise, but it's like the looks was the meat and potatoes, and the gameplay was good enough to advertise, but really doesn't like have any replayability after a little while. After a little while, a couple hours of that game, a couple shots, a couple swings, a couple grip throws, it feels like you're just doing the same thing over and over and over. And after you beat that game after like what, 12, 15 hours, do you want to do that again?
Quite
Yeah.
exhausting, you know.
It kind of is. It kind of is because the enemies don't change that often. Some of the enemies one shot you, so you don't have any really thing that you can do other than just run and continuously shoot. And then, like I said, the movement in the game is just so finite that it's just like you never, I don't know, you feel like a badass until somebody smacks you upside the head. And then it's like, oh,
Yeah.
dull feeling.
It's tough. I feel like that game. I feel like even if that game was great, like even if it didn't have the problems it had, even if it was great and I loved it, I still don't think that's worth $70. I'd say it's about 60. If it was great and I loved it,
Yeah, because you
but
think
as it-
about how much content there's in there, and if it really justifies
exactly
being
that's
worth that
and
much.
Ham brought that up, and I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
There's not much replay value to that game once you beat it, especially considering the fact like it's a horror game. You've experienced the horror of the game,
One sec.
Yeah,
so
you're
like
done,
there's
done.
nothing.
You're not getting that again.
Yeah, you're not gonna get jump scared by the same thing twice.
Mhm.
So the value's gone once you beat it, really. I mean, unless you really loved it so much that like you're gonna go through it again, in which case, God bless, do what you
Yeah.
do. But like in most cases, the value's gone once you beat it. And that first initial time of beating it, especially around the release window, is not the best. So it's like it leaves a sour taste in your mouth. Leaves a pretty sour
Yeah.
taste in your mouth.
It mainly left a sour taste in my mouth because I see the direction that they're going, and I think what they had was pretty fantastic, and what I played was pretty fun. Where I felt kind of disrespected was that they gave me that base or that, platform, and they charged me as much as I'm gonna spend for something like Starfield
Yeah.
Yeah,
or God of
compare the
War, where you can
compare the
put
amount of content,
you can put
you know?
40 to 60 hours into God of War, and you can be like, like exhausted from that game. I don't
Yeah.
like it if I'm getting exhausted in the game and I've barely put like 15 hours into it. I mean, to me, that's just like saying, man, this game really died quickly
Yeah.
in my books.
It,
Because
it,
God of War, Matt, for you, Prey, for you as of recently, and let me go on ahead and go back to Elden Ring as well. I mean, Elden
oh
Ring,
my
I
god.
put what, like
300 hours.
I put like
Oh my
100 plus
god.
hours into that game, and
Yeah.
that was $60. So that's like
That's
it
less. It's even less.
and then and like I said, and that came out the same year as Elden Ring. Like I said, Callisto, $70, wrong time for that game to come out at that price.
yeah.
Yeah.
If this was 5 years
Elden
later,
Ring
we
was even
probably wouldn't be
60 on
tripping.
PS5, right? Like the PS5 version of Elden Ring was even $60 as well, right? Like
It was
so
60
wasn't even
across
just
the
like
board.
expensive.
It was
Yeah.
it was 60 everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's no excuses really when you think about it. Yeah.
And that's, I mean, that can be a whole nother topic, but that's like
Yeah.
that's my issue with $70 games in general.
Matt loves talking about that.
It's it's just that's my whole issue with $70 games. It's like I've done the math in my head. The games that I bought for $60 this generation versus 70, the ones for 60 are a lot better. A lot better. Like Elden Ring and Cyberpunk.
That's it.
Just those two. Versus anything I bought for $70. It's not the only great purchase for $70 this gen for me was Ragnarok.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think of
Ragnarok.
something else. I
Need
guess
for
Last
Speed
of
was
Us, but
close.
even then, I shouldn't have bought Last of Us for 70.
That was your cousin that spied you on that
But
one.
yeah, I'm still counting it as me.
Need
But
for
it's
Speed
like-
was close.
Yeah, Need for Speed was
Yeah,
really
Need
good.
for Speed was
actually.
really good. Need for Speed was really
Need for
good.
Speed was really good. Probably one of my favorite games that year, honestly.
I still kind of feel like, though, that since Forza Horizon was 60, it doesn't feel like Need for Speed fit
God, no.
exactly there. Because the
That's just EA
replayability,
being EA.
because if we're using the same logic that we just used for Callisto Protocol, Need for Speed kind of suffers that same issue. But the thing that Need for Speed has going for it that Callisto does not, that is that Need for Speed has an online mode. But
Yeah.
the story of Need for Speed, I'm sorry, that's a one and done for me, dog.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't want to do that
Yeah.
story again.
Put
The end of
put it
that
this
story
way.
was ass, in my opinion. I was just like, oh, it's all peachy and cool and
Actually, like, I thought it was fine. I thought it was cheesy, but it was like
No, it's definitely cheesy. 100%.
Yeah,
I
but it
told
was
you,
like
a-
good. It was
Yeah.
good.
it was
it was
cheesy. I liked
fine.
ASAP's pieces in it. I didn't really like the credit
Oh.
part that much.
I
The
love-
credits was a little excessive.
I love the credits they just gave him, Mike, and said, "You got 20 minutes, ASAP. Just say stuff. Just say whatever." And he's like, "Okay, all right."
That's exactly what they did to him too. Because I was just like, "What is happening?"
You know what's funny that I found funny about ASAP Rocky is that every time you race him, right, and you bet against him, he's always like, he's always like predicted being like first place, but he actually sucks at racing. Like he's
Yeah.
terrible at
Yeah,
racing.
he's never winning first place.
Yeah, he's like at
Never.
like 9th on a good day.
Oh,
It's
he's
like-
never winning first place. But speaking of replayability in Forza, it's actually hilarious. As we're doing this, I'm playing Forza Horizon 5. Just
Nice.
mindlessly driving around. I thought that was funny that you brought that up. But yeah. Wait, is Mike? Okay.
I think
Yeah, man.
Mike's back.
Mike's Savior. Okay. Are we ready to move on to the next topic?
Yeah.
Else got anything to add to that?
No, I'm good.
All right. So the final topic that I have here, I know Mike wants to talk about something as well. The final topic I have here is Ubisoft, because Ubisoft right now, if you're not aware, is a complete dumpster fire.
Yep.
An absolute dumpster fire. So it says Ubisoft has canceled 7 games in 7 months, including, I guess the biggest one being Ghost Recon Frontline, which was going to be a free-to-play battle royale set in the Ghost Recon universe. But on top of this, they also delayed Skull and Bones for, I had to
Again.
double check this, the sixth time.
Oh god.
That is the 6th delay on Skull and Bones.
It's
I
fucking wild.
didn't even know you
Uh,
could do that.
Like I completely forgot about that game. I remember seeing that game back when I was like in high school, and I finished college like 3 years ago. It's like
I mean, speaking of stuff like that, how many times has what's the other game, Beyond Good and Evil? How many times has that been internally delayed?
yeah, didn't they just? I think they just announced that they're in early development or something like that.
That's fucking terrible. That game's been in development
like,
since like 2012. It feels
what
like.
are they? What were they been doing like the entire time? Like
Chasing battle royale
they're
and every
just-
other trend they could
They're just fucking playing darts. And
You're not
fucking,
lying. You're not lying.
Stupid.
I don't know. It
fuck.
sucks because the thing is, when I grew up playing games, I'm 28, so I grew up. I got an Xbox. I got a PlayStation. I played like there were so many Ubisoft games, especially on the 360. Especially on the 360. I love Ubisoft, and I still do, but they are just a joke at this point. I want to root for them. I want them to turn it around, but they just seem to have no intention on doing that. They're like dead set. Granted, they give me a Far Cry every couple years, and I'm happy with that. So like,
yeah, at least you're getting something out of it.
yeah, I get something out of it, but like,
Man, I really
don't
want a
know.
new Rayman game. That's what I really want.
bring
Rayman
back,
game.
yeah, bring back stuff like Rayman.
That shit was great.
It's good to see that they're going back to the classic Assassin's Creed formula, or at least partly. They're doing Assassin's Creed Mirage, but they still have the big open world games that people either like or hate. But yeah, I don't know. Just seeing Skull and Bones delayed for the 6th time just kind of floored me.
Yeah, I think they also announced that Mario and Rabbids game did pretty poorly, or at least didn't meet their expectations or something.
Oh, well, I wouldn't be
The Mario and
too
Rabbids
surprised.
game,
Yeah, the
yeah,
game.
and I think even more games got canceled. I think they said they canceled 3 games because of that. I'm not even sure. But
Well,
I know
it's
they canceled a lot of games. But
see, what's funny is I found a bunch of articles that say 7 games in 7 months, and then I'm looking for the games, and the only game I see specified is Ghost Recon Frontlines, just some free-to-play battle royale. And now
the
I'm
rest of
trying to
games are
find the other
probably just
6.
they're probably just unannounced games, maybe internally
That could be the
canceled.
case. That could definitely
Right.
be the case.
I mean, to be fair with game development, a lot of the shit that we don't even hear about half the shit that actually gets canceled. It's just we hear about it
Yeah.
usually like 10 years after the fact. And they'll be like, oh yeah, by the way, we're working on this at some point, but it got canceled, and we never announced it or mentioned it at all. Right. I mean,
Yeah.
just look at Rare. Look at the Rare replay, and they have all those things of just all canceled games that they never even announced. It's like we canceled
Yeah.
this. Cameo 2 was announced. Well, it was being made, but they didn't, announce it. Right. It's just a lot of shit. Right. That's just how game development is. A lot of ideas get thrown around.
And to that point, to be fair, games get canceled all the time, and we never ever know about it.
Oh yeah, they never announced.
So like, yeah, it happens, but Jesus, dude, if 7 games in 7 months get canceled, that's gotta be
honestly,
something's wrong.
The amount of money.
Yeah, just money lost.
The amount of money is they have probably lost, dude. I don't even want to fucking know. I don't even want to know.
Well, they're
because if it's
funded.
like
At
7
least a bit
games,
of
that means
money
it was
put into
they were
it.
like
Yeah.
greenlit in production at least some point. Yeah, exactly. They had some money thrown at it. And I don't want to know how much money. Yep,
That's true too.
Yeah.
And also, you hear about like they reportedly are like begging people to acquire them.
Yeah, apparently.
which is just
Xbox.
no. I mean, the thing is, like, sure, I guess, but at the same time, how? How?
Yeah.
Like if Xbox tried to buy Ubisoft right now,
Like Activision
they'd
probably
get
get
nuked.
Yeah.
The government
Yeah.
would nuke them.
Yeah.
Honestly, probably.
They wouldn't do
Uh,
it.
Undeservedly so.
They probably don't have any balls to do it.
I mean, well, imagine.
I
Phil
think
Spencer coming out
Tencent
with-
has the biggest stake in them right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I believe you're right about that. Actually, hold on, let me check that. Yeah, I think you're right about that. Because you guys talked about this on, or we talked about this on your guys' show, Bullsitting Fridays, 4 p.m. Eastern. Check that out. But we did talk about Ubisoft, and I think it was Loki mentioned Tencent having a pretty big stake in Ubisoft. But yeah, they need something to happen at Ubisoft.
Ubisoft, what they need to do, in my opinion, and it's super duper simple. They haven't done it in a really long time because they've been
Right.
chasing one trend to the next one. You look at Phoenix Rising. Phoenix Rising was a fantastic game, in my opinion, but it was Zelda. They're looking to
Yeah.
do a battle royale game. You know, it feels like they just kind of want to hop onto whatever trend.
Yeah.
They don't really care too much about being, you know,
Innovative.
who they are, really, you know. They keep going away from that, but as I was adjusting and getting to the point, the thing that I think they got away from the most is just listening to the fans. Listening to the fans. And I don't mean like listening to every single bit of criticism to like make the game as the fans want specifically. It's just putting out the games that people are looking for in the structure. Instead of changing the structure to be something that they feel like needs to be, maybe they need to continue with the structure that they were known by to give this to make this game great in the first place. So let's use Ghost Recon as an example. It feels like Ghost Recon went from one of the most dope, insane games that you do these cool, random, like cool things. Like remember the what is it called? The like everybody shoots all at once. I forgot what it's called.
Syncing up your shot.
Yeah, sync shot. Sync shot.
Synchronized.
Yeah, the sync shots in that game was really cool. How it slowed down time, and you guys were all just like one group running in, and I thought that was so cool. But then it kind of turned. It slowly turned into. I mean, it's okay to change one franchise and make it like totally different, like what they did with Assassin's Creed. But it felt like they did that not with just Assassin's Creed, but with like each game that they are known for. They just completely switched everything. Like you loved us as this before, but check us out now. We're all the same everywhere. Everything's way too big, way too expansive, way too crazy. And I mean, honestly, with them working on a Star Wars game, I believe that they have coming in the works, I think something that's too expansive is warranted in a game like that.
Aren't they also making an Avatar game as well?
Yeah.
Yes. And to me, too expansive is okay in something like that. Like to me, if you told me Hogwarts Legacy is Ubisoft big, I'd get kind of excited.
Sure, yeah.
You know? Because that is like something new, something fresh, and it's massive. But if you're giving me Ghost Recon, which used to be linear, and now saying, get lost in this humongous freaking world. And by the way, you need to bandage yourself whenever you get hurt now. You need to take out all these random outposts. You need to use these drones. And I mean, like, some of that's cool, sure. Like, using the drones and stuff like that's cool. But I felt like I was playing an open world Last of Us Division Ghost Recon. Like it didn't have a identity. It was just too many different goddamn things that it just had zero identity. I was like, what the hell is this? Because they went from they went from linear to what, like to Wildlands, which Wildlands was
Yeah.
pretty good. I thought Wildlands was pretty good. It was
Wildlands is
a little
fun.
much.
I actually need to try that on the new PC. I'd actually be down to play some more of that at some point with you.
It's a little much and it's a little overexpansive in my opinion. It feels a little bit too much like Far Cry.
Yeah,
But
it's got a lot of Far Cry.
You see what I'm saying? It feels a little too much like Far Cry, but at the same time, it's still kind of cool. But when they took it even further, when they gave you that like bandage, Last of Us running, limping, and like falling down the mountains and stuff like that, I'm just like, dude, what am I playing right now? This doesn't feel fun anymore. This feels like it feels like I'm playing Mercenaries and I'm the only mercenary.
Yeah. I still remember your buddy coming in and getting us hyped. And just like I bought Breakpoint right then and there on sale. That game wasn't worth it.
Nope, it
Was not
wasn't
worth
worth the $10 that we spent on that game.
Was not worth it.
I always hated when like a studio will completely change a game franchise and they'll make it still in the same franchise. Like just make a new franchise at that point
Yeah.
if you're gonna change the game that much. You know,
Uh-huh.
it's like it's a new
100%.
game. It's a brand new game. Like, why are you giving it the same name? You know?
100%. That's
It's
why, like Ham was saying, it's like I forget the other game, but he said it's kind of like The Division.
yeah,
I'm just like, The Division should have been your experimentation with this.
yeah,
That should be like, when you want to do a game like this, do The Division.
yeah.
Don't do Ghost Recon. Ghost Recon's existed for a very long time
Mhm.
without being this. And it
I
was
want
very
a
successful.
traditional Ghost Recon so fucking bad.
I
You
would
have no
love
idea.
it. I would love it. It'd be amazing. It would be fucking amazing. But I don't know what it is, why there's this need to make every game just expansive for the sake of being expansive.
Because they
just slap
just
the
to
name
say,
on
if
that,
you don't
know?
mind, because they just think they can slap endless amounts of like microtransactions of some sort. They're hoping that it's expansive enough so people will keep buying their in-game microtransactions over and over and
Sure.
over and over. And that's probably why, and it's not working, which is why they're in that financial position. It's because they're not fucking learning that lesson.
Which again is good, hopefully, because maybe whenever Assassin's
Snap
Creed
out of it,
Mirage
yeah.
comes out and people start buying that, I know I'm gonna get it. I want to support that. I mean, I want to support that just for them to be like, hey, you know what? Maybe not every game needs to be just dumb big for the sake of it. Like, doesn't need to be like that. And I'm hoping that, first of all, I'm hoping the game's good.
Yeah.
And if it is, I'm hoping that people support it so that they can hopefully snap out of it, because at some point something's got to give where they're just like, okay, this isn't working. But it doesn't seem like we've reached that point yet. So
Just a little bit more
I don't know.
convincing. Just a
I
little
don't
bit more
know.
convincing will do it.
I feel like their whole plan is just to keep you glued onto a game for stupid amounts of time, whether there's like any content behind it or not. Like it's just like, here, we're gonna make this super expansive just so you can get lost here and be doing this for months on end. And some people absolutely love that, which I think is fine to have. I think Ubisoft is fantastic at doing that. I mean, a lot of people really love the new Assassin's Creed games. Matt, you really enjoyed Odyssey.
Yes.
K Mega, I know, loves Valhalla, and I don't think they should stop doing that. But what I think they should stop doing is trying to make every game that. Like, we don't need
100%
every
agree.
game to be like 400 hours long. Like some games, it would be like Ghost Recon in particular. Like, I think fans would love it if you scaled back and went to the old school way of doing Ghost Recon, and then taking the new type of recon, the new type of Ghost Recon, and like Twan was saying, put a different name on that.
Like,
Put a different name on
for the
that.
sake of it, you know. It's like, oh, maybe it'll sell if you put this name on it. You know, it's like it's not. It's a different
That's
game.
really
It's a
it.
different franchise. You know,
There's plenty
hoping
of
that-
different military terms you can use to make a new game. Just do that. and
Yeah.
let's stop with making Assassin's Creed Recon. I don't want to do that. But I mean, I take that back. It's not that I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it with the title of Ghost Recon because I don't remember that it being like that.
Yeah.
And they're
Ghost
not even like
Recon.
they're not even in what the hell's the word? Not initiating, inventing. Oh my god, what the hell's the word I'm looking? They're not even
Innovating.
innovating. They're just
Innovating.
using a different game's formula for that game,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
that's a huge issue, especially when they all are basically the same game now.
Yep.
And it sucks.
I
Yeah.
definitely agree with that. There's a severe lack of innovation at Ubisoft right now, and hopefully Mirage is the first step in fixing that. We will see. We
Yeah.
will see.
Time will tell.
But
Oh.
Mike,
What's up?
you said you said you had
I'm be honest,
something
I
you
am so
wanted to talk-
tired. I'm gonna blow right through this shit. As as a fan of DLSS, they finally fixed something that
Three
has
S's?
been DLSS. They fixed something that was to me has been a big issue.
Series
Serious shit. I'm just kidding. They got
Shut
rid
your
of
mouth, Mike.
the god awful shit videos, man. I'm just kidding. The god awful automatic sharpening they put on their upscaling technique. They would automatically, no matter what you did, you could set it to 0 and it would still apply it. And in fact, if you'd set it to 0 to counteract how bad it would actually make your game blurry because it was designed to be that play with that sharpness turned on. So it'd fuck up your image quality altogether. Now they just gotten rid of it entirely with its most recent release. Let's hopefully they stick with that. In fact, NVIDIA developers, even in the reply chain, are like, yeah, we're going to try to encourage developers just to use different like NVIDIA tools if they want people to have a sharper image because we believe that looks objectively better than what DLSS offered. And I agree because DLSS would add some awful shimmering for certain games. Very, very noticeable to the point where like even turning your screen, it looked like single like lines were like almost like they had terrible aliasing. And it makes certain games fucking awful to look at. So it's really nice that they're fixing this and addressing it. However, there are certain games that really need to update their DLSS file. Like fucking Battlefield, they're still using a very old one that has some issues when it launched, and they just refuse to change it, and they won't let us change it. It'll just break DLSS. So I'm just happy about that because that's a very big step, in my opinion, for this technology is perfecting the image. Like it comes out always neutral now. There's no worrying about it being blurred. There's no worry about it being too sharp. It's just neutral of what the AI reconstructed. And the better we that this type of tech advances, as just like AMD's equivalent, I think that's great because it pushes video cards way beyond their lifespan. And I think that's a great thing. I mean, I don't know how NVIDIA feels about it being a great thing, but it's really nice that they are at least getting rid of it, and hopefully they keep it out at the very least. That's all I can say.
It's funny. Blind in the chat says Mike gonna join House of Slytherin or like I don't know in Hogwarts something. I don't know how to.
I don't
I
speak
can't pronounce
loser
that.
blind. I'm just kidding.
Oh my god, jeez Louise!
Shit.
I'm just kidding.
My
What?
goodness,
Why
the
is my
disrespect.
friend? What the fuck? Why is my friend? What the fuck? Don't give me that shit. Dorks. All right, let's go.
Can't believe you said that.
I fucking acting all offended on his behalf. Get out of here.
I am
God.
totally offended.
It's
Dude,
dirtball maneuvers right there. Jeez.
All right, let's keep going.
All right. Well, anybody have any takes? Because I do not.
Oh, I got a few takes actually.
Ooh, let's go.
there we
I'm
go.
kind of
Wow.
interested. What's
So
happening?
I don't know if you heard. I don't know if you heard about Adam Sessler.
Oh,
He's been
God.
going on, like,
Speaking of takes,
he
good
has
God.
a few takes.
He has some. You're right. Oh my God, I
Like,
completely
he
forgot
went
about
back
that.
and forth.
Breakdowns.
He went
Yeah, a day.
Like, he straight up like you said, he went on a straight up breakdown almost, like straight up. Like he was bring out your mom jokes and shit like that. It's like, are you 5? Like you're like in your, like, how old is he now? He's like at least
Old
well into
enough
his
to know
40s
better.
at this
And he's
point.
like, I'm not
looks
a
like
gamer. Those people are freaks.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not a gamer. I'm just a person who plays games. It's like, dude, and the thing is, I didn't grow up watching, like, I didn't watch his show.
Yeah.
I didn't. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. So, like, when I saw this guy, everybody was freaking out about him. Like, who the fuck is this guy? And why are we giving him the attention that we're giving him?
Mhm.
Because every video I see of him this past week has just been him talking like he's literally in the middle of a breakdown.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's really
100%.
unfortunate.
Like,
It's
it's
actually
just,
unsettling.
dude, it's really uncomfortable. There was a video clip I saw of him on a podcast where, like, just two guys were just joking around, having a good time.
Yeah.
And then
Oh, they
he's
were
in the
totally
middle.
using him. They were using
Yeah,
him.
100% using him. Just joking around, having a good time. Their vibes were like let's say they're at a 5 out of 10. Adam
Yeah.
Sessler's at like a fucking 15 out of 10.
Yeah.
He's off the charts. He's like super amped and super like on edge. I'm just like,
Yeah.
why? Why are we? First of all, like, Ham's right. They're using him 100% for views, and you can tell because they're just like, I don't know if they're in the same room together. It kind of looked like they were, but like on different cameras.
Yeah.
It looked like every time Adam Sessler would say something wild, they looked at each other and they're like, "Holy shit, this is fantastic!" but it's like, dude, this guy just needs to. We need to just stop giving him attention
Yeah.
because this guy's like, I don't know what's wrong with him. I don't know if he's like, I'm not gonna say stuff, but like he's just not looking well.
He's been, and it does disappoint. It makes me say, I'm not gonna be like, say, oh fuck this guy. I won't do it because I watched him a lot when I was younger on G4. I thought, I always thought he was kind of like the edgy dude on the show, and like I thought that
Yeah.
was just kind of like his character. But like
Yeah.
he
So,
came
yeah.
back when he came back onto the scene, like in 2013, and he was talking about like how he doesn't care about finding people's information that make fun of him and putting it out there, and like that's a quote, by the way. He said that at an event, saying, "I don't mind finding it and putting it out there," which is just
That's good.
I don't
Full
know.
of
I
doxing
don't know.
people.
Yeah, doxing people. It's like
Healthy.
I don't know, dude. It's like it's just it's way too much for me, dude. And I understand like this. There have been people have been like way too.
When
nasty
people
to him, but he's
dox
like,
you, I'm gonna hit the like button.
Yeah, no, he basically said that. He's like, you can call me an asshole all you want, but don't be surprised when I find your information and put it out there. Is what he said.
Yeah, that's not healthy. That's
Yeah, it's very not
It's
okay.
a little
behavior.
insane, just a little bit.
And G4, it's sad. I mean, as much as I was happy, it kind of came, but it got what it had coming. Like that whole, I swear to God, there was something about them every week I was hearing, and I just couldn't fucking take it anymore. So it's a shame. It is what it is. Like, just hopefully he calms the fuck down and like just stop talking about video games. Just it's okay. Like I get it. You don't like video games. You hate people that play video games. I don't fucking know.
They need when they brought back G4, I was kind of pissed. I thought the way that they were going to roll that out was something more sophisticated and serious to have gamers be taking more serious. But instead they went the complete opposite. And they made gamers look even more childish than they already looked. And I was just like, you got people on the panel like that could be like third stringers on a podcast.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got people on here that don't know what they're talking about, have no information, but have all the like credibility of clicks and
Yeah,
clicks.
all the platform.
Yeah. They have all the platform, and it's just like it just felt so like they didn't not get views because people weren't interested in consuming content that way. They didn't get views because they were cringy and they had no substance
Yes.
at
It's
all.
fake, almost, you know.
Oh, it was 100% fake, man.
It's just
like
very fake, you know.
that whole Frosk thing and all that stuff, like fake controversies, in my opinion, like just like it just felt like it didn't feel like gaming. I'll tell you that much. I don't know what it felt like, but it didn't feel like gaming.
Felt like a drama fucking TV show.
It felt
It was
like
always
a
drama.
terrible, like after 8 p.m. Nickelodeon show.
Yeah.
There you go.
Perfect.
7,000 repeat of George Lopez. No, I love that show. Okay.
Dude, I would watch George
fucking
Lopez
slaps.
all day
I love
over
that
any
show.
of those shows
Slaps.
on
Doesn't it,
G4.
dude? It's so fucking good.
Great.
Okay.
This is the George Lopez podcast. No.
Yeah. Yo, fuck it. Yeah. Dude.
I'm not
but-
even mad. Let's go.
But yeah, I mean, I agree because I didn't watch it back then. I didn't watch it now. All I saw was clips of what it is or what it was today. And
I just cringe every now and then, you know.
dude, it was I don't like Ham said that wasn't gaming. I don't know what that was, but that was not a group of gamers talking about games.
Like I feel like like they just say a bunch of misinformation now and then. You know, like I say, you clearly didn't know what they were talking about. You know, it's just
Didn't
This
seem like
sounds boring as shit, Twan, but I wanted it. I wanted G4 to be like the BBC of gaming. That
Yeah,
sounds
that's totally
dry.
understandable.
That sounds
Just make it
boring.
sound
But I just want my
professional,
news
you
to
know?
be honest, and I want it to
Yeah.
be there. I just
You
want to
don't
be
want
able to
be
turn on.
misinformation, you know? Yeah.
Exactly. I just want to turn on a channel or something and just hear
Reliable
nothing but
source.
facts.
Yeah.
Just nothing but facts. These are
100%
the
reliable.
facts.
Like, you know what's bad? Like when I'm watching a show and they say something like, "No, that's wrong." Like even I could just I could just straight up just say it's wrong. You know, like it has to be true information. You know, like yeah, just like yeah, I completely agree with you. Just watch something and I know it's right, and I don't have to like suss it out. Almost be like, is that really true? And then search it up and figure out it's fake. You know, or this say something that's wrong. You know,
Facts.
it's just shit like that. I don't know. It's just
yeah.
But going back to what you were talking about with Sessler, to me it just sounded like two people taking advantage of a sick person.
Oh, that
person-
interview was 100% that.
Yeah. That's exactly what it looked like to me. I know what taking advantage of somebody looks like. That was two people giggling and laughing like schoolgirls while somebody was going manic live.
Yeah.
100%. And that's why it was so uncomfortable to watch because I'm like, and that's I quote tweeted that like I didn't talk about any of this Adam Sessler stuff this whole week, and I saw that video and I quote tweeted it and I was like, why are we like I guess I get why they're doing it. Don't
Yeah.
agree with it, but it's like why is anybody else engaging with these two using this guy? Why is anyone giving them any engagement for this? Can we just let Adam Sessler live his life? Let him cool down a little
Yeah.
bit. Let him calm down. Cause
going
like
through some shit.
he's going through something and you guys are just
Making
I
it
don't know.
worse.
I've never been I've obviously never been famous. I can't imagine what it's like to be famous.
Yeah.
Having tons of people talk shit to you, you can only help but get defensive. You can only
Mhm.
help but just come off kind of like an asshole. It's just kind of human nature. So at some point you got to back off of him a little bit and let him breathe a little bit and calm down because he's going through something. So
100%.
Yeah. They're all looking at each other. They're all like, "Hey, should I
This
throw
is
the
great.
bait back into the water? This dude is biting.
Dude,
Let's get him again."
this is great podcasting right here.
Right. Yeah.
It's tough to watch, dude. But I don't know. Hopefully Adam Sessler can be okay.
Yeah,
Get,
like,
get, like
figure some
he
shit
needs,
out, yeah.
needs to get away from these fucking people. I'm not even
Well,
saying
do
as
you
a
know what
fan
he
of
needs
him,
to do?
but for
He needs
himself.
to log off of Twitter and just not go on Twitter. That's what he needs to do.
That'll help.
That'll fix him right up.
tremendously.
Yeah.
That'll help.
Hey,
tremendously.
as Eddie Murphy said, 3 things that'll keep you good and healthy, and that's paying your taxes, minding your own damn business, and keeping Will Smith's wife's name out your fucking mouth.
Yep.
Said you live by those 3 things, you'll be set for life. I love the minding your business part though, because the way he was talking, it sounded like he was doing a whole lot of not minding his own business, a whole lot of peeping over, looking behind somebody else's curtain instead of minding his own business and doing what he needs to do, working and whatnot. He should already know how the business is. People are gonna be assholes. People are a piece People can be terrible. There's a whole lot of great people out there, but there's a whole lot of other people out there that are going to wait for you to say one wrong thing and try to make you look terrible. Why are you going to stoop to that level with all the notoriety, all the fame that you got, all the, people that love and seeing all the stuff that you had? Man, I mean, as I said, he just seemed like somebody that was literally sick.
Yes. Full blown.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, do we have anything else?
Don't we need to announce the winner for the God of War thing?
I'm
When should we do
actually
that?
composing the tweet right now and
Yeah.
getting ready to send this guy a DM. But in case you all wanted to know, it was at Echo Stirs who won the copy of God of War Ragnarok. So
Congratulations.
I'm gonna be sending him his DM with his code.
Echo Stirs.
I'll be tweeting it out that he won. Everybody knows that he won the contest, or not the contest. The giveaway's over.
Yeah.
And that was fun. Enjoy a copy of God of War Ragnarok.
Enjoy the
I
$5.
already have this game.
I'm just kidding. I think it takes like 20 hours or something.
The game was about 50 hours long. It felt like.
Jesus
50
Christ.
hours long. Jesus.
Well, it's like if you stop and do
Side
quests and
missions.
stuff, yeah, it's about 50 hours.
That's good length.
So
That's a definitely great length.
It's a beefy
$70
game. 100% worth $70.
Yeah.
Have you beat Gna?
Have I beat Gna? No, I don't.
The Valkyrie at the very, very end that you fight that took over somebody.
I'm gonna have to download Ragnarok again because I don't think I have.
Okay.
This is an
that's like the
hard,
right?
Is that,
yeah,
is
that's
it
the
like a side
hard.
mission or
That's the hard. That's like the hard. That's I'd say like top 3 hardest bosses in the game, and like some of those. I'm one of those people that will say the side bosses are harder than the main bosses in
Dude,
God of War.
Well, yeah.
The hardest boss I fought in Ragnarok, first of all, looked like it was going to be an easy fight, and it was a side boss. I saw like I don't even know where I was on the map. I think I was in Freya's area, just like
yep, I know exactly what you're talking about. The bomb throwing area.
Yep, I walked in the back of that place and I saw this little fucking thing, and I was like, dude, this is gonna be a piece of cake. This dude beat the shit out of me about 20 times. Took me about 20 times to kill this guy, and I finally did it. And I was like, dude, that's to the end. From that to the end of the game, there was never a boss harder than that. Main boss, side boss, anything. I never ran to anything more difficult than that. Shit was wild, and that was the most I've died on a boss too, by far. But yeah,
I feel like it's pretty normal for side bosses or secret bosses to be harder than main bosses. I feel like it's just a normal thing in gaming. Honestly,
that seems to be the case because there's a lot of stuff like that in Assassin's Creed Odyssey as well.
Yeah,
where it's like never a main boss; it's always a side boss who's just gonna kick your ass.
You don't want like a main boss to be extremely hard because that'll just be a brick wall for a lot of people, right?
True.
So it's just for those people seeking that extra challenge, right, off the beaten path, kind of thing. But yeah, interesting.
All right.
It does, but in a story like God of War, I feel like it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
What, having the side boss harder?
Yeah. Because I'm fighting Thor, that's supposed to be like the hardest motherfucker in the land. And then I go to this side boss that's just fucking wiping the floor with Kratos. And I'm like, man, I just stopped a 1,000-mile-per-hour hammer. And this motherfucker right here is just tossing me.
Does this guy even look intimidating or like?
No, not even remotely.
We're just like a regular dude.
Just
I ain't gonna lie. The person that Matt's talking about took me like 2 tries.
Ooh.
Hey, at least you got him way before I did. All I know is that dude.
He's very deceiving, though. He's deceiving fast, and the area of the fight is half the problem.
Oh, the
because you're
areas
also
sucks.
trying not to get hit by plants, live plants,
Oh,
and
yeah.
stuff like that that's in that area. And this little thing is evading half the stuff you're throwing at him. And
Yep.
right when you go to like evade him, he does something else and ends up meeting you where you were gonna be and smacking you in the face. It's just wild.
And as soon as you're about to attack is the exact second he hits you before you can attack, then you're staggered. It's rough. It's a rough fight.
But anyways, all right. So now let's go on ahead and hit it with the last little bit so we can get up out of here and go relax for the rest of the evening. Our underrated, overrated games. I'm gonna go to the most prepared. Hard Days Mike. Hit us
Let's
with
go.
All right. I don't even know how this game's rated, but I'm gonna say it's fucking overrated. Fucking
Let's
shit.
go.
It's
Oh,
called
we're gonna get a
Strafe.
hot take.
It's called Strafe. And
Strafe.
the idea of
Ooh.
it
I thought you said
is
Stray
fucking-
again.
No.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I want to play Stray though. Strafe, it's like a game that tries to be like one of the like Doom like type
Doom
games, and it's
clones or
fucking.
something?
And the thing is, that's not the reason why it's bad. 'Cause it's like a Doom clone, but like it's just it feels so stiff and fucking lifeless. And I was so excited to play it. I'm like, wow, why haven't I heard this game before? I know, oh, and it's on sale. And I just try to like it, and it's just so fucking boring. It feels so weird. It feels lifeless. It feels soulless. It just like
But
I don't
does
want
it
to
have
shit on these
posi-
guys
like,
because it's
does
an
it have
indie game.
positive
I don't want to
reviews on
shit.
Steam?
It's very mixed. The whole perception on this game is mixed. You either love it or you hate it. I
Okay.
don't want to shit on these guys too much. I'm just salty because I was really excited to play it.
Fair enough.
It's just I don't know. It's just so it feels like a pre alpha to what Proteus is.
I
if-
feel you.
Like Proteus is a fucking masterpiece. Like that is like one of the best boomer shooters like made, period. It's like top 3 without a doubt. But this game feels like that if it had like absolutely no direction or wanted to be its own thing, or I don't know. And it's a shame because it looks so cool at the start, but I just don't like it. And I wish the best for the devs, and hopefully they learn their lessons because there is something really cool there,
Mhm.
but it needs to be fleshed out and it needs to feel like more like its own thing because I don't want it to shit on them endlessly. I like its art design. I think it looks nice. I just feel like it needs to find more of its own identity than just space shooter.
I mean, there's always room to improve, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I believe they can do it. And I don't know what they've made since, and I got to look into that. But who knows? They maybe made something since that's fantastic for all I know. But
Mhm.
I'll keep giving it a shot. I'll come back every once in a while and try it, but it's just not doing it for me.
That's fair.
Okay.
That's fair. All right.
Wish them the best though.
Okay.
God bless.
All right, Twan.
I'll go. So I was just talking about it earlier. So I was playing Time Crisis 4, right? And the game itself, the actual arcade mode, everyone it's a good game, right? Everyone respects it. It's a fine arcade shooter, right? But there's an exclusive mode on the PS3 version of the game. It's called Complete Mission Mode. And basically what it is it's a first person shooter, like mixed in with like gun elements, right? And everyone says this mode is absolutely awful, right? Like people say like this is like don't play it, like it's not worth your time. Like I've heard horror stories. Even some of the footage I saw made it look abysmal. So like I was playing it like just the other day. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna try it out. I'm gonna just see what it's all about. And I was launching this thing expecting like a Sonic 06 level like bad experience, right? And I played this thing and I was like, I love it. Like it is actually really fun. I was actually shocked at how much fun I was having. It's like an experience I never had with a first person shooter ever. Like you're moving around, right? And then you could actually aim down the crosshairs and shoot at the people as you're moving around. It's actually insane. Like I
What's
was
the game
like,
called again?
it's Time Crisis 4, right?
Time Crisis.
So it's the original
yeah.
PS3 version.
I
It's
own
the
that with the gun con. I own that.
Yes. So it's the original PS3 version of the game, but there's this extra mode called the Complete Mission, and it's a first-person shooter mode.
Yeah.
And everyone says it's awful. Like I was going into this thing just thinking it was going to be absolute trash, and I actually had a blast with it. Like
There's
it's
another
just-
PS3 Time Crisis game you should check out that I love.
yeah,
it has
Raising Storm. It does
that
have
game. I love that
haven't-
game.
I
It's
haven't
good.
tried the first. I'm actually curious to try the first person shooter mode in that one because I know it has it, but I gotta. Who knows?
I really recommend checking that
Because I
game
know,
out.
I have it. I played it.
Oh, okay, right on.
Yeah, but like I said, the first person shooter aspect of it, I haven't tried that, and who knows? A lot of people chat on that one as well, but
Okay.
we'll see. But this one on Time Crisis 4 is actually really fun because, like I said, you could turn the crosshair off too, so you could literally aim down the sights and shoot at people like as you're moving around, and it is
Yeah.
crazy. It's just like it's like a next
Sorry the way
generation
you said
feeling.
that. Yeah, I got you.
Like I just felt like it was just crazy. I was like, man, like this is actually next level. Like it was absolutely insane. But and I don't know, like I guess people just couldn't get the hang of it and they just called it trash and wrote it off immediately. But I don't know, if you stick with it, you're actually gonna have a blast with it. Anyway, that's all I had to say. So
All right,
Matt,
and
you're up.
how about you, Matt?
Well, I've talked about the game already this week, but Prey is underrated. It's weird because I heard people talk about it and say it's like the greatest game ever made, but that's like 2 people I've heard say that. So, like, and most people just don't talk about it. And then I played it before and I was like, I don't understand this game at all. I don't get any of the hype for this game. And then I just, like I said, I played it recently. I gave it a real shot, and it's just absurd. It's absurd how good that game is. Like, it's so good that I'm playing it a second time after just beating. I'm gonna beat it again, and I'm actually probably gonna see it through. I've been playing it every night for like hours at a time the past week, so I'm hooked on that game. I love that game. Arcane's goated. That's all I gotta say.
Fair
Nice.
enough. Fair enough. Cozy in the chat says Weird West is underrated.
Oh, I need to play that too. Cozy was talking about that, and
I
Mike
need to play that
told me
too.
about.
It's
Mike's
actually a
told me
fun
about it.
game, but I just need to give it proper chance. Cozy's right. That is actually a game with a lot of soul and love. There's a first person mod now too, if you want to check that out. And that the developers actually endorse because I think it's so good. I'm just saying.
Nice.
Makes it a first. I wouldn't play it that way personally for your first time, but I mean, it's an option.
Oh, tell me what to do, Mike.
I will fucking do whatever the fuck I want.
Right.
All right, go.
Right.
I'm sorry. Go on. Go on.
Well, a game that I recommend to nobody that I think is overrated because of the disrespect I feel like they did to the really early iteration to this game that was on the NES is Bionic Commando. I talked about this earlier with Twan. I really don't enjoy this game.
Well, to be fair, no one likes it, so you can't really call it overrated.
Oh, I don't care. If there is a rating, if there is a rating for it, they should take it down a couple notches. Because it was just.
So if it's like a 4 out of 10, it's like a 2 out of 10, or
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's a 1 out of 10 for me. Like it was just like just getting around in that game, the buttons working properly, trying to, because as I've said plenty of times, like getting around, moving, traversal is like my biggest thing in a video game. And if I can't feel like I can move smoothly, then I'm not going to have a good experience.
Yeah.
And this game started out with bad movement. And then when they gave me what's supposed to be a better form of movement, it was somehow worse. Somehow worse, because it was just like, it was pretty much telling me what I could latch on to and what I couldn't. And it just didn't make any sense. You know what I mean? Because to me, in my opinion, if they would have made it like Spider-Man, to where it's just like, it just auto grabs something, that would have been great. Just like grabbing the vicinity of the direction that I'm looking. That would have been great, but they didn't do that at all. They expected you to grab and look at the same time and have only specific points of things that you can grab. And it's just like, dude, I can't do all this thinking while I'm running away from 10 people shooting at me at once. So that was a little little irritating. I don't know if I have an underrated game this time, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm not just gonna pull something out of my bag. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
All right.
But
Okay.
thank you everybody for coming out watching the show. We'll be back here on time next Sunday. I'm gonna have to apologize for myself because I was a little late because I went out to dinner with the wife and I have to keep her happy to continue doing this stuff, or else it's just not a good household. But anyways, thanks everybody for coming through and checking us out. Those of you that stayed on with us live, and those of you that are watching afterwards, we appreciate you. Anything from you guys at all?
Thank you all for watching.
Yeah,
Thank you
you.
all for
Thank
watching.
you. Coach, catch us next Sunday at 8:00.
8 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah.
Twan here every day, so feel
Yep.
free to stop
One
by.
does 10-hour live streams every day here on the channel, so check that out.
Peace.
Hell yeah.
See ya.
Bye.